Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. This was the one we did on Hearts Home this morning. It felt really good, and I thought it was very enjoyable, and it's a deep dive. So if you have not subscribed to Hearts Home and you're not a Patreon, then please do subscribe to Hearts Home. Lots of deep insights into the spiritual realms, and this one was showing some synchronicities between biblical scriptures and also Hindu scriptures, which actually in some ways were in agreement, and it was interesting, I thought.
It does. It ties together in the most unique ways.
Absolutely. So again, we do invite you to subscribe. Of course, everything goes up on Patreon. So we want to thank you all for your support over there. You do keep us going. There is a ton going out there. A ton going. I thought we were going to talk about one or two things, and no, well, there's a lot. So right now you got law enforcement and tactical teams swarming the Maryland Statehouse in Annapolis, Maryland, amidst reports of people with guns inside the building. Lawmakers and people inside the buildings are being told to stay quiet, shelter in place. You know, today's the last day of February. Tomorrow's March 1st. Hang on tight.
There's so much going on. It really is quite nutty out there.
Yeah, and I still don't think there's any change to the timeline at this point that we've been saying all along, and we are expecting things in April, especially after the big eclipse, to kind of go really bonkers and stay that way in an escalating sense with all the chaos and the obvious, well, sleeper cells in place, as well as the war scenario. So, you know, this is something we ask you guys send your prayers for everybody involved in this, because it does seem like it's an ongoing event. As you can see, they are swarming around it, and we'll give you an update tomorrow on what we find out. Meanwhile, D.C. barricade suspect who shot 3 cops isn't illegal with active deportation order was deported to Jamaica in 2001. The man accused of shooting 3 D.C. police officers 2 weeks ago, Stephen Claude Radigan, is reportedly in the country illegally with an active deportation order. Gave a fake name, criminal history again. Yeah, this is obviously things are going to a different place right now. Court workers serving an eviction notice and an officer. I've seen reports actually saying 2, and then one report was saying 3 officers and 1 or 2 court workers were shot in Missouri. At least one person fatally at this point. We'll have more details again tomorrow. And then we have, this that's on so many people's mind. The Texas fire situation, which is not really under control. This is obviously a big blow to our supply chain. Where the fires happened is where 88% of Texas cattle feed. Think about that. 88%. When you think of Texas, you think about the beef industry, don't you? I mean, wow. 88% of Texas cattle feed in this zone. The U.S. is already down roughly 1 billion pounds of American beef, and these fires are going to do more than just win foreign imports. Obviously, there's a big push for the fake meat. Florida, we were talking about, is going to ban Gil Bates' sale of his fake meat. And there's a lot of pushback going on right now. There's a lot of pushback going on in both directions. And so, again, with what you put in your body, it's up to you, of course, to make your decision on what you think is ethical and not ethical. And you got to look at your own health in the first place, too. Anything that has a whole horde of ingredients, we don't ever put in our mouths. We eat regular whole food, organic, vegetables, fruits. We do eat lean proteins. We didn't always do that, but we have some dietary needs and things that have arisen, so that this was the easiest way to adjust. And this is what our guides suggested too at this point in time. Now you have a little 3-year-old girl that's crying because her house burnt down. All her toys are burnt, her dolly, everything that was home, comfort, security to her is gone. And, 1 million acres, over 1 million acres burnt, and it's just 3% contained. This is just such a horrible blow to the country. We talked about the nuclear weapons plant in that area too. There's so many reasons. Just the nuclear weapons plant being there, where we actually assemble so many of our nuclear weapons, along with 88% of Texas beef being produced in that area. An obvious reason why it's a target. Now, listen to this carefully, because this is going to probably blow your mind if you have not heard this yet.
Because a lot of, if you fly over these areas that are burned to the ground, you'll see in the midst of 20 homes that are just totally destroyed, one home sitting there because it had the right roof on it. And anyway, since I took office...
Did you catch that? He literally said that.
These areas that are burned to the ground, you'll see in the midst of 20 homes that are just totally destroyed, one home sitting there because it had the right roof on it. And anyway, since I took...
It had the right roof on it. They are giving us the biggest double middle finger you can imagine. They're basically saying, yeah, we know you know. What are you going to do about it? That's exactly what they're doing. Again, why the heck are all the celebrities painting their Maui properties the same weird shades of blue? It's not only in Maui. We got the people suffering from the wildfires, quote unquote, in Chile. They're all painting their roofs blue. They are all painting their roofs blue. And, I'll just go on. Let's see. I'll go in my original order. It's so clear, so obvious to so many people. And let's just listen to a little bit of this. This is 45, and you have a representative from, again, the great state of Texas chiming in.
We have had to endure, and your agents, President, they are pissed. Border Patrol agents are upset that we cannot get the proper policy that is necessary to protect human life, to protect American citizens, to protect the people that are crossing the border illegally. We want to protect them as well, and we can't do that because President Biden's policies continue to invite people to cross here. Thank goodness we have a governor like Governor Abbott. Thank goodness we have somebody that's willing to run for President of the United States, forgo everything else that he's been doing.
Oh, and yeah, of course, there's an awful lot with the story of 45 and the lawsuits and the money situation. If you ever wondered what could possibly bring the U.S. to its knees, to civil war, to invasion where it's going to be taken over, well, now you know. Now you know. It's pretty obvious.
They do. They make it very obvious. And I think that's the most painful part for a lot of people is, what do you do about it? And more and more people know every day they have an understanding of what direction they need to head in. And, do you want to be swallowed up by this system? And I think one of the most important things to know is have an understanding of what kind of system this is. Know that there are no heroes. There is no one going to come galloping to your rescue. So don't be tempted to fall back on that. Always fall back on yourself. Never trust the government, no matter what they say. Just don't do it. Trust in yourself. Put all those eggs in your own basket. I mean, what some of these other politicians have to say is great, and maybe it will be great, and that would even be the most greatest thing is if they were actually to do something that's right. But you have to kind of stand back and keep in mind, watch that track record, because I don't see too many that have a decent track record of doing anything nice. They say a lot of nice things, which is, nice to the ears. But when it comes to actual doing, what do they do?
The city of Amarillo starts a long-range plan, Vision 2045. Oh, these dates, yes. If you were curious and wondering about Amarillo, you could look at some of the headlines here, like Amarillo citizens back in October 23 voice concerns regarding smart city scenario. Oh, okay. Amarillo, the first gigabyte city in Texas, announced by Vexus Fiber. There's a comprehensive plan in place again to create smart cities technologies, and Amarillo is a part of it. Yes, in fact, the Amarillo City Council just recently voted unanimously to approve the creation of an artificial intelligence digital human that's going to live on the city's website and oversee things. Oh, isn't that so nice? Yeah, the digital assistant is going to help with immigration in Amarillo. By the way, Amarillo has more immigrants than any other area in Texas. Oh, that's interesting. By the way, too, these are other cities on that smart city list. Austin, Texas, if you're in Texas, San Antonio, Texas. We have some dear friends that live in the areas between these. And also others that live between, say, San Antonio over to Houston. And, just be aware of what's going up. When Cindy did get the information from the kids from the Future 2055, there seem to be 3 or 4 big smart cities in Texas in which that's where most of the population was in these cities, and they don't leave. They don't leave. You don't get the option to go and vacation in another smart cities. Humans don't travel anymore in the air. As far as those humans that have decided to become, part of the Borg and go the technology route and go along with the current control system.
Mm-hmm. Well, it becomes quite difficult because in those smart cities, from what we picked up and what the children say, it's the human body is affected. It's different. So it's not easy just to even walk out, even if you could.
No, it's basically falling apart. It's these people, they said, the people in the cities live very, very short lives with lots of health issues. In fact, they're completely dependent on the technology to keep them alive. There's your Darth Vader scenario, more machine than human. That's exactly the future for those that are going along with the technology and the control system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's something that you definitely want to look at your life now and just stay organic and teach your children how to be organic. I think one of the simplest things anyone could learn to do is really read your labels and understand what all of the different oils are, because there's oils that are in sections, and some of those oils that are on the label are really, really bad for you. But if you're not going over those and not understanding what's what, then you might not pick up on that. But read your labels. Please learn how to read labels, because that could save you. Teach your children, because this is a generational thing. It took them generations to get us here. We have to walk out of it ourselves.
And by the way, there's also record February in the Amazon for the number of forest fires. So again, a record-setting, another fire record setter, over 3,000 forest fires in, again, the Amazon. It's all over. Last month, the UK announced laser military capability, which a drone could be targeted with pinpoint accuracy. Coincidentally, lots of clips where people claimed that the real fire from the sky was caught on camera. So we know the US can do it. We know Russia can do it. China can do it. The UK could do it. They've all acknowledged they have this capability. And, of course, you'll have people that will come on and say, these are all just, people are editing, people are adding effects. None of this is real. well, all the people losing all their properties, their lives, it's real. It's very real. And meanwhile, you have Rishi Sunak, who has warned the UK is descending into mob rule, demanded the police take urgent action or risk losing public confidence. Yeah, he's demanding a crackdown on protests and do whatever it requires to protect our democracy. Well, again, the leadership of the planet's going to do whatever it can to protect its leadership positions. Earlier today, there was a parliament member over in the UK that was really calling out and wondering if they're going to bring back the death penalty for those that have been committing crimes against humanity. And Penny Mordaunt, I believe Mordaunt is her name, right? Mordaunt. I forget what her name is exactly. But she is another one of those, just like Rishi. They're weefers. And, she made it clear that we know what you're talking about and that they're going to do, you're going to have to do what they don't think we can do. And they don't think we could overcome the system. They don't think it's possible. They feel that protected because how could they feel that protected? Well, they obviously know there's extraterrestrials involved with a lot of technology. So that's why they have a very, very cocky attitude. Meanwhile, BRICS nations are discussing a multilateral digital settlement and payments platform. Goodbye SWIFT dollar and U.S. hegemony, yes. And again, this is exactly what those weefers want. And so, all they're going to do is have the completely outright authoritarian regime, that is China, kind of lead the world. Because, it makes things easier when you know you don't have a voice. But again, even in China, people are not going to sit still for it. In fact, I think they're way behind. It feels like they're way behind. It feels like they're kind of failing miserably, if you ask me.
I don't know. I appreciate nature. I appreciate what Mother Nature has to offer. She is so amazing, so cool. She has the neatest stuff I've ever seen compared to any technology I've ever seen. I don't know. I could just sit here and probably look at owls for days.
You make me think about that old commercial that only somebody as ancient as I would remember with, it's not nice to fool Mother Nature. You remember that butter and margarine commercial? It's not nice to fool Mother Nature, and lightning comes down and stuff because she can't tell the difference. Again, don't eat margarine. Eat butter if you're going to eat any of it. Organic, again. Margarine is again something that's not even a food. Mother Nature is not malevolent. Mother Nature is just simply Mother Nature, and she is not able to be herself with this system in place. And again, that brings me back to the video we did today over on Heart's Home.
Definitely. So hopefully you guys got something out of this. We need to stick together, keep sending out the positive energy, especially to all those people who are losing their homes or who are concerned about losing their homes, all the animals as well. I saw a clip where there was a couple of horses running down the road. Oh my gosh, I felt so sorry for them. And then the cattle. I mean, they are so lost and so scared, and they depend on humans to get them out of there. And that might not happen. So what do you do? I mean, it's a mess. Please send out your good energy.
Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.